반갑습니다. Before I came to Korea, I had trained in Judo for a little over 20 years. And I was very fortunate that I never really sustained any serious injuries or anything like that. Anything except for this crooked finger here. I dislocated my finger and I was taping it to my other finger, so that's how it healed. It healed in a bent way, and that's really not the best way to do it. You should really splint your fingers, unless you want gnarled up fingers, but if you want your fingers not to look goofy like this, the best thing to do is to splint them so that thing straightens out and heals properly. So for the 2 years that I've been here in South Korea, I'm in a city called Busan. It's the second largest city in Korea. I've been attending a local judo school. It's a very historic judo school run by a 7th Dan master instructor. He's very well known in the Korean judo community here. But it's a very low-key atmosphere. You know, no one's trying to kill each other. You're just practicing techniques, practice light, consistent workouts, things like that. But for one reason or another, I sustained some pretty serious injuries. About 6 or 8 months ago, I was doing some free practice. We call it randori in judo, where you're just doing free practice. They were trying some foot sweeps, and it was shin against shin type of thing, or their ankle versus my shin. Now this happens to me a lot because I'm a tall guy. Well, in this particular case, I iced it for a few days and I went back to practice, and wouldn't you know it, somebody hit the exact same spot really hard, and I ended up developing a hematoma. So I was icing it for about a week, which is a lot longer than normal, and I was putting pressure on it for another week, and it didn't seem to want to heal. What ended up, when the swelling went away, was there was this large mass of collected blood on my shin. And ultimately I had to go to the doctor and have a minor surgery done where they had to lance it and take the material that was inside of it out. It was not a pretty sight. Second thing, I went to go visit and practice with one of the university judo teams here. Many of the schools here have judo programs, and these are high intensity guys, young guys that practice every single day, sometimes twice a day. So they're no joke. They take it pretty seriously. It's pretty much their life, part of their studies. I don't know what happened, but at the end of the workout my knee was really sore, and ultimately what it was a severe sprain, possibly a tear to my ACL on my left knee. And for any of you that follow any of my blogs or any of my videos or anything like that, you'll know that it was a long healing process. It was weeks before I could walk even semi-normally, and months before I was back into any semblance of action. I went through acupuncture, a lot of different types of therapies just to get back the range of motion, to reduce the pain. It's about 95% now. I'm sure it'll always give me a little bit of a reminder that it happened, but it is pretty much good to go now. And then recently, that's what this beautiful coloration on my arm is. Another fluke occurrence. Light practice. We don't fight for grips or anything like that, but I had my hand under his hand. I went for like a Dayashi Barai. He tried to counter with a Sasai, and because my arm was trapped under him, we fell onto my arm and I suffered a complete dislocation at my elbow. You know, the type of thing where my hand was touching my back in the wrong direction. My arm was just flopping around on the mat, and I just knew right away it was very serious. Well, my instructor came around. He's actually a natural medicine kind of guy. He has a certification and education in it. He popped it back in, made a cast for me, but it's going to be a long time before I'm back into action now, unfortunately. One that freaked me out the most, amazingly, if you can believe that, again, a light free practice against one of the guys there. He's a really nice guy, experienced judo player, and he tried a Nuchimata on me. And what happened is he kind of lost his footing a little bit, and I went sideways over his back, and I landed right on my head. Now, if you've watched the movie Saving Private Ryan, when they were storming the beach, and there was a shell that went off, and at that moment in the movie, the sound cut out, and there was like this high-pitched wheezing noise, like the guy's hearing went out. Well, that's exactly what happened to me. I shook my head a little bit, but it felt like people had put earplugs in my ears, and I heard this kind of a wheezing, high-pitched sound. And right there I said, wow, man, you gotta reconsider things here, man. You know, you're not getting any younger, and these types of injuries are happening to you a lot. So that one really freaked me out. So I don't know if it's from age, sure that probably has a little bit to do with it. But judo is not the softest thing, even though the literal translation of judo is the gentle way. And what that really means is the whole essence of judo is not a linear, straight-on approach to where you're attacking your opponent. It's a series of setups, kind of like trickery, where you're trying to cause a reaction in your opponent, where their body will react in such a way that will allow you to execute your technique. And that's really the essence of the gentle way, judo, in order to throw them. And also on the ground, to put them in a submission hold or a pin. For those of you that have practiced judo, I'm sure you can agree with me, there's very little that's gentle about it. And a lot of injuries happen, and in the past 2 years I've had some very serious injuries. I need to reconsider my approach to judo and what the future holds for me, but train safe, train hard, but just be aware of your body when you're out there on the mat. I know we leave a part of ourselves out on the mat every practice. Just be careful. You know, there's no price tag on health, so stay safe. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.